Hey, good morning. Welcome to my Good Life meditation. My name is Kurt, and this is something that I do each and every day, a little bit after waking up, to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. I also use the time to think about to remember my life objectives, to go over them, to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the challenges and opportunities that I met, if there were any. Lately, sometimes they're not, and then also plan for the coming day. But first, welcome to new subscribers to the channel. It's good to have you here. A little disclaimer, although I'm in Japan, this is a Japanese park, Japanese apartment building. This video is not about Japan, it's just me talking about my life and my day. Consider it like a journal entry that I do live and publicly. I do that not to be for any voyeur sense, or to be showy about my life, but simply because I do a better job if I stand on a soapbox. I've been doing this for years and years, and if I do it alone in my head, especially in my head, I go fast and I don't do as comprehensive a job. But if I think I've got the camera on, then if I've got the camera on and I think people might see, then I do a better job. So that's why. Oh, and thanks for my coffee, by the way. Thanks for my subscribers, my YouTube members, and my Patreon supporters. I appreciate that. I'm at a different spot right now. This is actually a significant spot. I didn't realize just how significant it was until I actually sat down at this bench, and then a memory came flooding back. Years ago, I was walking maybe half a kilometer down that way, and I had just come out of a store, the Shizutetsu store, and I heard a loud whoomp explosion and then saw black smoke rising. And right here, where we are, a helicopter had crashed. It killed everybody on board. And I remember because I was walking past and I was there within a short amount of time. It was my route home from that particular location. And I remember seeing that helicopter crash, and part of the debris went and hit that building right over there, damaged the roof. So I suddenly realized as I sat down here, oh my gosh, I'm seated at the site of the helicopter crash. The pilot had tried to land on this open space here, missing that playground over there, but didn't quite make it, ran into some of the trees and exploded and burned on impact. A very sad and tragic thing. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about last night and yesterday. I have my notes here. So the only thing that really came to mind, and I succeeded in completing everything that I wanted to do yesterday. Oh, let me just check real quick. Did I double check that? Yesterday's goals were to ship the item, which I did, to tune up QuickBooks, which I did, and to remove at least 3 bamboo spikes, which I did. I did more like 9 because I got a big clump all at once. So yesterday was a good day. I give myself some 5 stars for yesterday. As for the last 24 hours, wait, I'm doing this backwards, aren't I? I'm off my kilter this morning. I feel fine. I slept great. I had a really good day yesterday. I just haven't found my footing yet this morning, so I'm doing things a little bit backwards. What I need to do to gauge yesterday isn't to look at yesterday's goals, which I did complete them all, but I should probably look at yesterday's goals when I'm gauging my day yesterday, but that's not what I'm gauging. I'm not gauging it in terms of things completed. I'm gauging it in terms of how I did with the challenging bit. So that comes of today's review. And for the last 24 hours, I don't have anything there that I showed that was a challenge yesterday. So yesterday was another PEF day. Yesterday was a darn easy day. Had a really good day. Literally spent the whole day with my wife, which I do pretty much all the time now. Emily described us once. She said, she introduced us to a new friend, and she said, "This is my mom and dad. They're always together." And she's right. We are always together. And Yumiko and I spent the whole day together yesterday. We had a good day. Had some good meals. We spent some time in the garden. Together, we dug the first row in our garden, where we're going to begin planting tomatoes later this week. So that's exciting. The only note that I have from yesterday is a note here that says the need to push dollars and then dollar signs. And so what that means is I'm realizing that I don't want to work, but there's a part of me that's so trained to make income that it's hard for me to give it up. I'm realizing that there's nothing quite as satisfying as a paycheck. This is surprising to me. I didn't think that this would happen, and it doesn't mean I need to do anything about it. It's just an observation. An observation that I, like Pavlov's dog, trained to drool upon the ringing of a bell. I'm trained through a lifetime of hard work to feel accomplished by the depositing of a paycheck into my bank account. Now, money still comes into my life by virtue of my retirement apparatus, but it's different, right? Even though it is earned money, I should look at it that way. Again, this is not an observation of a problem that needs to be solved. There's nothing that I need to do. I don't need to look for a job. I don't need to have a paycheck. This is not a problem. It's an observation. It's like suddenly discovering that it would be like discovering that water cooler talk with colleagues is satisfying. Running into colleagues at the kitchen at work is fun to chat, to catch up. And then after you retire, to realize, wow, it used to be fun to meet my colleagues at the water cooler to chit chat. There's nothing that needs to be solved about that. It's just an observation. If it's an issue, you can go find another water cooler. You see guys do that, right? You see old men going to coffee shops, donut shops in the United States to meet. I see them doing it here too. But I don't have that need. I don't need for. I don't. That was just an example. Noting that I miss having a paycheck is just an interesting observation. Nothing needs to be done about it, but it's interesting, very interesting, and I wonder how long that's going to last. I will tell you something that's coming up. That's in my mind. I think I mentioned it yesterday. I'm of the age, I'm 60, so I'm of the age of retirement. People typically begin retiring. The 60s, the decade of the 60s is the decade when people typically start to retire, at least in the American paradigm, right? You can begin Social Security at age 62, 65, 67, and 70 are the big ages, So I have a lot of people in my sphere who are going through the process. I mean, it's like we're knocking off one by one, right? All of them are back home. I don't know enough people here in Japan, Japanese people, to have that, to count that, but a lot of people are. I got to think about how to talk about this because some of them might see it. I guess I'll just say it. I guess I'll just say it because there's nothing to hide, and I'm not indicting anybody for anything. But I will point out that I've been documenting this process for 4 months, and no surprise, retirement yields nothing more than a freedom to spend more time with your issues and have less money to do things about them. And that's a very dangerous combination if you're not adept. And this is where I'm saying if you're not adept, because this is an external observation, internally already faced by me. I'm in the process of facing it. You know, I go out of my way every day to try to tackle my challenges and to try to see where I'm stumbling so that I can try to improve. And some might call that overthinking life. I call it a kind of a hobby. It's what I do. Like some people would enjoy like fishing. They're getting up in the morning and taking a pole and a line and dropping it in the water and going fishing and call that recreation. For me, recreation is coming to a park with a cup of coffee and a notebook and reflecting on the last 24 hours and how I stumbled and where I could improve. That literally is to me is a hobby for me. So I'm well practiced at it. So being retired and having more time to spend with my problems, because I do have problems. I have issues. My brain needs tuning. Having more time to do that it was startling in a way. It's startling because there's times when you wish you had a distraction, right? I get tired of this. I mean, in the morning, it's nice to talk about my challenges and to try to deal with them. But by mid-afternoon, I had enough of that. I'd rather do something else. And if I don't have work to distract me, then it can get to be a little too much. But you get the point, right? And here's the thing. I've got a lot of people in my life who are on the verge of retiring. And the way that they're describing it to me is that they're like expecting that this will be the end of their problems. And it won't be. It'll just be an end of the work problems. Whatever unfinished business is going on in their minds or their lives will have yet to be addressed. And it's going to be clamoring hard. So that was on my mind as well, because I was having some conversations with people yesterday, in fact. And I couldn't bring that up, right? How do you say that to somebody, right? How do you say, they're talking about their upcoming retirement, and I know that they've got issues, and I know that they think that those issues are going to go away just by virtue of what they're telling me. How do you say that's not the case? You're just gonna have more time to face it. I guess you can't, right? It's just they'll have to face it.